Listen closely, because this is the moment when unexpected funds from God begin to locate you. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing. God is about to release a blessing that will shock you, that will surpass your understanding, that will position you for your next level. You see, when God decides to bless you, He does not consult your bank account. He does not check your job status. He does not ask people for permission. When God decides to release provision, no man, no system, no economy can block it. There is a supernatural flow of resources that belongs to the faithful. And when your heart aligns with divine purpose, heaven begins to move toward you. Some of you have been walking through a season of lack, a season where it feels like everything has been drying up. The bills are increasing, but the income is decreasing. The responsibilities are multiplying, but the resources are limited. Yet, in that same dry place, God is preparing an overflow. Because whenever the need increases, the supply of God multiplies. Whenever you are stretched, you are being positioned for supernatural provision. Do not measure your future by what you see right now. God is not limited by your wallet, your job, or your business. God is limitless. He is the source of every stream, the provider behind every provision, the architect of every miracle. When God decides to send unexpected funds, He can use anyone, any situation, any event. He can cause people you've never met to favor you. He can open doors you didn't even know existed. He can make what was once blocked suddenly flow with abundance. There is a law of divine timing that governs the flow of provision. Sometimes God delays so that you may develop trust. Other times, God withholds so that your faith can mature. But when the appointed time arrives, there is nothing that can stop the flood of blessings that has your name on it. Some of you have prayed and waited. Some of you have cried in silence, wondering if God heard you. I am here to tell you, not only did He hear you, but He is already moving. The funds you need, the opportunities you've prayed for, the breakthrough you've been waiting for, they are locating you even now. There is a realm of divine economy where God's supplies needs not according to human systems, but according to His glory. This means He does not rely on earthly circulation. He operates by divine creation. God can create something out of nothing. He can make money appear from sources that did not exist before. He can shift hearts, restructure paths, and move resources to your direction. When your faith becomes the currency, God becomes your unlimited source. The reason many never experience unexpected provision is because they rely on their own calculation instead of divine revelation. You cannot calculate miracles. You can only believe for them. You cannot plan divine intervention. You must trust for it. God is not asking you to figure out how the funds will come. He is asking you to believe that they will. Because the moment you believe, heaven begins to release. Let me tell you something. Faith attracts provision. When your faith becomes unshakable, resources are magnetized to your life. Faith opens portals in the unseen world through which God's blessings flow. That's why you must never allow your circumstances to silence your faith. Even when the account is empty, say to yourself, God will provide. Even when doors are shut, declare, God is still opening another. Even when people say it's impossible, whisper in your heart, nothing is impossible with God. You see, unexpected funds are not simply money. They are divine affirmations that God has seen your faithfulness, your sacrifice, your patience. Many of you have been faithful in little. You have done your best with what you had, even when it was not enough. You have given when you barely had anything to give. You have helped others even while you were in need yourself. And now, God is remembering you. When the time comes for divine compensation, it does not come in small portions. God never pays back what you lost. He multiplies it. God never returns what was taken. He restores it in abundance. If you lost one opportunity, God will open 7 more. If one door closed, 10 more will open. This is the nature of divine abundance. God does not bless to maintain, He blesses to expand. Sometimes the unexpected funds come in forms you don't expect. It may come through an idea that suddenly turns into profit. It may come through a delayed payment that suddenly arrives. It may come through a person who unexpectedly decides to help you. But however it comes, recognize it as divine movement. Don't call it luck. Don't call it coincidence. Call it what it is. The hand of God. Do not underestimate the power of divine orchestration. God knows how to position people, shift circumstances, and create events just to ensure your blessing reaches you. You may not see how it's going to happen, but God already has a plan. The same way He sends rain to a land that was dry, He is sending resources to your life that was once barren. The rain doesn't ask permission to fall. It simply obeys the command of God. So it is with your blessing. When the command has been released, nothing can stop the flow. There are some of you right now who feel forgotten, who feel invisible. You've been praying, working, sowing, and waiting, yet nothing seems to change. But I tell you, this silence is not absence. God's delay is not denial. The unseen hand of God is working in your favor. He is aligning the right connections, preparing the right conditions, and positioning you for a miracle that will silence your doubts. There is a divine principle before manifestation. There is always preparation. God will never release what you are not ready to manage. So while you have been waiting, He has been strengthening you. While you have been hoping, He has been teaching you how to handle abundance. Because when unexpected funds locate you, you must know how to sustain them, multiply them, and use them for purpose. You are not meant to live in financial fear. You are not designed to struggle endlessly. God created you to walk in abundance, not just for yourself, but to be a channel of blessing to others. When God blesses you financially, it is not just provision. It is assignment. He blesses you to bless others. He provides for you so that you can become a provider in your generation. You are entering a season where divine provision will become your testimony. The same place where you once cried for lack will become the place of overflow. The same hands that once had nothing will hold abundance. The same wallet that once was empty will become a vessel of generosity. God is not finished with you. He is about to show you what divine favor truly looks like. When unexpected funds locate you, remember this: gratitude multiplies provision. The more you thank God, the more heaven releases. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. Stop complaining about what hasn't come and start thanking God for what's on the way. Every word of gratitude creates a vibration in the spiritual realm that attracts more blessings. Gratitude is faith in action. You see, many people block their own blessings with doubt. Doubt is the thief of divine flow. It creates resistance in the channel of provision. But faith clears the pathway. So even when your eyes see lack, let your mouth speak abundance. Even when your situation looks empty, let your heart declare fullness. Because when your confession aligns with your belief, heaven responds with release. Some of you are standing on the edge of your breakthrough. The funds are already assigned to you. The only thing that remains is your readiness to receive. Be sensitive in this season. God may give you instructions that lead to provision. He may whisper an idea, guide you to a conversation, or open a door through service. Don't ignore divine signals. Sometimes the smallest instruction unlocks the largest blessing. You may not realize it yet, but the path you are walking is already filled with divine appointments. Every closed door was a redirection. Every disappointment was a setup for divine delivery. God has been orchestrating things behind the curtain, and soon you will see why everything happened the way it did. The funds that are coming are not random, they are purposeful. They are meant to fulfill something bigger than you, to fund your calling, to support your vision, to manifest divine destiny. When unexpected funds arrive, don't let fear grip your heart. Don't question whether you deserve it. Don't diminish the miracle by doubting it. Receive it with bold faith, because when God gives, He gives completely. He does not add sorrow to His blessing. He gives peace. He gives joy. He gives purpose. This is not temporary money. It is divine supply attached to divine purpose. Lift your expectation higher. Stop expecting small. Stop limiting what God can do through you. The same God who feeds nations can feed your family. The same God who multiplies oil can multiply your income. The same God who turns scarcity into abundance can turn your situation around overnight. He is not the God of just enough. He is the God of more than enough. When God decides to favor you, He does not ask permission from anyone. He does not check who approves of your blessing. He does not analyze your background, your education, or your connections. When the appointed time of divine release arrives, it will break every protocol, silence every critic, and override every system. The same people who once looked down on you will soon look up to you, not because of your strength, but because the hand of God has chosen to lift you. God is about to command a flow of resources toward your life so extraordinary that even those doubted you will have no words left but You see, divine provision is not just about money. It is about timing, alignment, and obedience. God does not release abundance where there is disobedience, because provision follows purpose. Some of you have been wondering why your breakthrough seems delayed, but God was aligning your character to handle the blessing. He was teaching you stewardship, discipline, and humility, because what is coming is not ordinary. It is supernatural provision meant to sustain not just you, but many connected to your destiny. When God begins to send unexpected funds, you will notice that it doesn't make logical sense. Suddenly, favor begins to follow you. People start remembering you. Debts that seemed forgotten begin to be paid. Opportunities arise from unexpected places. The timing will be too perfect to explain. That's when you will know this is the move of God. Because when God moves, it is never random. It is always precise, deliberate, and purposeful. You must understand something. God's provision is often hidden behind instruction. When God is preparing to release a blessing, He will give a divine idea, a prompting, a simple step that unlocks the miraculous. Many ignore the small instructions because they seem insignificant. But those who obey them witness overflow. The difference between lack and abundance is often one act of obedience. One act of faith, one decision to trust God beyond reason. Sometimes the funds you are waiting for will come through divine connection. Someone you meet by chance, a conversation you didn't expect, an invitation you didn't plan for. But behind that connection, there is a divine orchestration. God arranges people like pieces on a chessboard. He knows who to position near you, who to remove from your path, and who to send into your life for a specific moment. You must walk with sensitivity in this season, because the divine opportunities do not always come wrapped in gold. Sometimes they appear ordinary, but they carry extraordinary purpose. The realm of divine provision is spiritual before it is physical. Before the funds locate your hands, they are first released in the unseen. That is why your faith is crucial, because faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. When you doubt, you weaken that bridge. But when you believe, you strengthen it. The moment you align your faith with God's promise, the unseen becomes inevitable. It is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. There are seasons when God will test your heart through scarcity, not to punish you, but to refine you. Scarcity reveals trust. It exposes whether you depend on your bank account or on your source. When you learn to trust God, even in lack, you are preparing for abundance, because God cannot trust wealth to those who forget Him when it arrives. So, if you have been in a season of testing, rejoice, because it means your next season will be one of overflowing grace. Sometimes, God will close one stream so He can open another. You may lose a job, a business, or a contract and wonder why it happened. But often, that closing is a redirection. God knows that if you stay too long at one source, you may mistake the stream for the source. So, He will dry one flow to remind you that He alone is your provider. And once your trust is reset, He opens new channels larger than before. The same hands that once struggled will now distribute abundance. Many people pray for financial miracles, but few are prepared for divine responsibility. When unexpected funds locate you, remember that it is not just for your comfort, it is for your calling. God blesses with purpose. He gives to the generous, not the greedy. He releases resources into the hands of those who will use them to uplift, to heal, to restore, and to serve. So, prepare your heart now. Decide who you will bless when the overflow comes. Because generosity is the evidence of divine gratitude. When the funds come, stay humble. Do not boast. Do not compare. Do not forget where you came from. because pride closes the door to the divine supply. The moment you take credit for what God has done, you block future miracles. But humility keeps the river flowing. Every time you give glory to God, you strengthen your spiritual connection to abundance. Gratitude is not a reaction, it is a lifestyle. It is the rhythm that keeps divine provision in motion. God's blessings often come disguised as challenges. The very situation that looks like a setback is often the soil for your breakthrough. May think you're losing, but you're being positioned. You may think it's over, but God is still writing your story. The reason the enemy has been attacking your finances is because he senses what's coming. He knows that once God releases this provision, your impact will multiply. So do not be afraid of resistance. It is confirmation that your blessing is near. In this season, God is raising a new generation of people who will walk in financial anointing, not for luxury, but for purpose. These are people who will fund movements, build dreams, and lift others out of poverty. You are one of them. And God is preparing you to be a carrier of wealth with wisdom, prosperity with purity, and abundance with accountability. You will not just receive, you will distribute. You will not just earn, you will empower. Do not underestimate the power of prayer in unlocking provision. When you pray, you are not informing God of your need, you are aligning yourself with His abundance. Prayer releases permission for divine intervention. It activates angels, shifts atmospheres, and opens gates that were locked. Every time you pray with faith, you are creating pathways for your blessing to find you. And the more you pray with expectation, the faster those funds locate you. Sometimes God will use your enemies to bless you. The same people who mocked you will become the ones God uses to finance your next chapter. This is how divine justice works. He turns humiliation into elevation, mockery into honor, and opposition into opportunity. So don't despise your critics. They are unknowingly part of your divine plan. The key to attracting divine wealth is peace. A restless heart cannot receive from God. Anxiety creates spiritual noise that blocks divine communication. But peace creates stillness, and stillness is where instructions are heard. When your spirit is calm, you can discern the voice of God clearly. And when you follow that voice, you will never lack. There is a divine law. What you release multiplies. When you give, you do not lose. You activate increase. The more open your hand, the more God can fill it. Many people hold too tightly, and therefore they block new inflow. But those who give freely, with faith and joy, never run dry. Because the hand that gives becomes the channel through which heaven flows. If you want to live in continuous provision, become a giver. Do not worry about how big your need is. God's supply is greater. Do not calculate what you lack. Measure instead the greatness of the one who provides. The same God who feeds every creature on earth knows exactly what you need. He has already assigned your portion. You do not need to chase after what is already yours. Just align your spirit with divine timing, and what belongs to you will find its way home. When you walk with God, money becomes a servant, not a master. You are never meant to be enslaved by fear of finances. God wants you to be free, to live from a place of trust, to move from survival to stewardship. The moment you stop chasing and start trusting, resources begin to pursue you. Opportunities begin to seek you. Divine funds begin to locate you. Some of you will soon witness a financial shift so sudden that it will humble you. You will go from not knowing how to pay one bill to managing multiple streams of income. You will see God's hand in every transaction. You will see His fingerprints on every open door. People will ask how it happened, and all you will be able to say is, it was God. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine truth. God is not limited by your environment. He can bless you in a desert. He can multiply you in a drought. He can promote you in a land where others are struggling. When you are aligned with His will, you become an exception to every economic rule. Divine favor does not depend on earthly stability. It depends on spiritual alignment. Every day, speak abundance over your life. Speak as if it has already happened, because your words are seeds, and seeds create harvests. When you speak faith, you plant prosperity. When you speak fear, you plant scarcity. Choose your words carefully, because your mouth is a tool of creation. Let every declaration be a reflection of your trust in God's unlimited supply. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not unlucky. You are chosen. You are being prepared for something greater. God's silence has not been neglect. It has been strategy. He has been arranging things for your good. And when the manifestation comes, it will not just meet your needs, it will exceed them. You will have more than enough. Enough to build, enough to give, enough to rest. In this season, position your heart with expectation. Expect divine surprises. Expect sudden favor. Expect open doors. Because God always meets you at the level of your expectation. If you expect little, you receive little. But if you expect great things, you draw great things. Expectation is the womb of manifestation. Right now, the heavens are open. God is releasing a wave of financial miracles, and your name is written on it. You have entered a divine season of favor, a time where what was once delayed will now accelerate. The waiting has not been wasted. Every prayer, every tear, every act of faith has built momentum for this very hour. And now the blessing is being released. When the blessing of God begins to flow, it does not knock softly. It floods every corner of your life. It comes suddenly, transforming dry ground into fertile land. It turns the empty jar into a vessel overflowing with provision. You may have gone through years of financial drought, but one command from God can change your story in a single moment. That is the mystery of divine timing. You can struggle for years, and then in one day, one phone call, one opportunity, one act of favor, everything changes. When God moves, delay turns into acceleration, and lack turns into abundance. Understand this. God does not just send resources. He sends reminders that He is your ultimate source. Every divine provision carries a message. I have not forgotten you. Many times you looked at your hands and saw emptiness, but God looked at your heart and saw faith. That faith was the seed that triggered the release. God honors those who trust Him when nothing seems to make sense. That quiet confidence, that unshakable belief, that calm assurance that says, God will make a way, becomes the magnet that draws blessings from the unseen into the visible. When you live in awareness that God is your provider, you will stop chasing and start attracting. You will realize that wealth is not something you run after. It is something that is drawn toward divine alignment. The closer you move to God's purpose, the closer resources move towards you. This is the law of divine proximity. Everything you need is already connected to your purpose, waiting for the right moment to manifest. There are times when God will hide provision within pressure. What you call a problem may actually be a package of abundance waiting to be opened through faith. God never wastes hardship. He transforms it into preparation. Every delay has been sharpening your discernment. Every disappointment has been building your spiritual strength. And now that you have matured through the waiting, you are ready to handle the weight of blessing. Because the blessing of God is not light. It carries responsibility, influence, and purpose. Only those who have been humbled can carry the weight of abundance with grace. You must never measure your future by your current season. God can raise the poor from the dust and set them among the mighty. He can take the one overlooked by society and make them a vessel of wealth and wisdom. Your current situation does not define your destiny. It defines your preparation. What you are going through is not punishment, it is positioning. God is aligning you with divine flow so that when the funds arrive, they don't destroy you, they empower you. When God provides, He doesn't just meet the need, He exceeds it. His blessings overflow because He does not operate in limitation. You will soon look back at the struggles that once drained your strength and realize they were the training ground for your abundance. The same hands that once reached out in desperation will soon give in generosity. The same lips that once cried for help will speak words of encouragement to others in need. That is how God works. He transforms the broken into a blessing. If you want to attract divine provision, you must cultivate faith that is bigger than your fear. Fear whispers, "What if nothing changes?" Faith declares, "Even if I see nothing, I will still believe." God moves where faith is alive. Faith is not a theory, it is an atmosphere. When your heart is filled with faith, you create a spiritual environment where miracles become normal. The funds that are meant for you cannot miss you when your faith is active. God does not bless doubt. He blesses expectation. Expectation is faith in motion. It is believing before you see, trusting before you receive, and celebrating before it happens. That is why gratitude is so powerful. It is the sound of faith that heaven recognizes. When you thank God in advance, you open doors before they even appear. Gratitude is the spiritual key that unlocks invisible vaults of divine supply. Let me remind you, there is no situation too complicated for God to provide. He can turn the heart of a king, direct the mind of a stranger, or shift an entire system just to ensure your needs are met. You are not at the mercy of your environment. Your life is governed by divine provision. Every time you doubt, you limit the flow. But every time you believe, you release heaven's resources into your situation. When unexpected funds begin to locate you, they will not come as small miracles. They will come as undeniable evidence of divine orchestration. You will stand amazed by how perfectly everything aligns. You will wonder, how did this happen? And the only answer will be, God did it. You will see that He had already planned every connection, every favor, every open door long before you even prayed for it. Do not be surprised when people who once ignored you begin to remember you. When God wants to bless you, He puts your name in the minds of people who can help you. They will wake up thinking of you, not knowing why. They will feel compelled to assist you, not because they plan to, but because divine instruction has moved through them. God uses people as channels, but He alone remains the source. There will come a moment when everything that seemed delayed will happen all at once. Opportunities, funds, open doors, partnerships, all arriving in divine synchronization. This is not random. This is the fulfillment of God's appointed time. There is a rhythm in the spiritual world, and when your faith matches that rhythm, manifestation becomes inevitable. But hear this clearly: divine provision requires divine perspective. You must see wealth as a tool, not as a throne. God blesses those who understand purpose. The reason He will release unexpected funds into your life is not only to satisfy your needs, but to empower your mission. Your wealth is meant to serve your destiny, not dominate it. When your intention is pure, your provision becomes permanent. The greatest demonstration of trust is surrender. When you release control, God releases increase. The tighter you hold, the less you receive. But when you let go and say, God, I trust you completely, you open the floodgates. God never withholds from a surrendered heart. He pours until your cup overflows. Some of you have been carrying financial fear for too long. Fear of not having enough, fear of losing what you have, fear of failure. But fear is an illusion that blinds you from seeing how powerful your provider truly is. You must break agreement with fear. Replace it with faith, because fear repels, but faith attracts. Fear says, I can't. Faith says, God can. Fear looks at the numbers. Faith looks at the source. When you shift your gaze from lack to God, everything begins to change. Lift your spirit in faith. This is your divine moment. The funds that seemed lost are returning. The resources that were delayed are accelerating. The help you thought would never come is already on its way. This is the season where God will show Himself as your provider, your sustainer, your unfailing source. Be still, breathe, let your soul rest in assurance. The storm has passed, the drought is over, the season of divine supply has begun. Unexpected funds are not searching randomly, they are following divine coordinates that lead directly to you. God has marked you for provision, and no force in existence can stop what He has already decided to release. So walk with confidence, speak with faith, live with expectation, because the one who promised to provide has never failed, and He will not start with you. The heavens are opening, the flow is here. The time is now. Unexpected funds from God are locating you to bless you, to sustain you, and to establish you as a living testimony of His unfailing provision.